evening of April 19, 2012. A tragic and a painful mistake. Miss Vega's mistake was not in driving recklessly or in leaving an accident scene. Her mistake was trusting Tony DeLuca to drive responsibly while Miss Vega texted her parents to tell them about the life-changing events of that evening. Miss Vega was very excited about her successful performance at the swim meet and being recruited by a town scout from her dream university. She could not wait to share the excitement with her family. So she trusted that Tony DeLuca would drive responsibly. But Tony betrayed that trust by hitting Cameron Douglas. Adrienne Vega is an honest, decent person who feels remorseful about this tragic accident. And she took responsibility for her part in it by immediately apologizing to Officer Kelly Wright. But she was absolutely and consistently clear that Tony DeLuca was driving when the accident happened. And Miss Vega never wavered about Tony's driving from the moment she spoke to the police up to today. But unlike Adrienne Vega, Tony DeLuca refuses to tell the truth about the events of April 19th. It is true that a jealous, angry Tony drove recklessly and hit Cameron Douglas. But then, Tony lied about it when Adrienne Vega first confronted her. Then, Tony lied about it yet again when she walked outside the guest house where she was staying and was surprised to see Officer Kelly Wright there investigating the accident. Unfortunately, Tony DeLuca continues this chain of lies about what really happened, despite all of the evidence that shows that Tony DeLuca was the driver of the car. Let's look at the evidence that proves that Tony DeLuca was the driver of the car. Aubrey Fox sees a jealous, scowling, angry Tony by the driver's side door of the Bueller right before the car drives out of the parking lot. We also know that Tony DeLuca is a terrible driver, who also, coincidentally, has a habit of running stop signs, which is eerily identical to what happened on Skyline and Grand. Even though they have no evidence whatsoever to question Aubrey Fox's credibility, the prosecution tried to discredit him. But if Aubrey Fox was really going to lie, why tell only half a lie? Why not instead say, I saw Tony DeLuca drive out of the parking lot? The reason why is that Aubrey Fox is meticulously honest about what he saw. We also know that Tony DeLuca's story about how this accident occurred just does not make logical sense. Tony would have us believe that her response to seeing Adrienne supposedly driving fast and recklessly up a dark and windy road while texting is to close her eyes and listen to music. Really, does that make any sense? Because common sense says that most passengers in a car where the driver is being dangerous would have their eyes glued to the road, begging the driver to slow down, not calmly sitting back doing absolutely nothing. Can the court say beyond a reasonable doubt that it believes this testimony? Is this believable? But even the prosecution's witnesses confirm that Tony DeLuca was the actual driver of the car. For example, when Lou watches the accident from the front steps of her house right here. Miss Lou only sees one person in the car, who from the description would appear to be Adrienne Vega. Since Miss Lou lives here, and the car drives up Skyline right here, it would make sense that Miss Lou only saw Adrienne Vega in the car, since Miss Lou was closest to the passenger side of the car where Adrienne Vega was sitting. And what about Cameron Douglas? We know from Dallas DeCamp, an objective and impartial eyewitness in this case, that Cameron Douglas was looking down when the accident happened. She was driving on the wrong side of the road right here and listening to an MP3 player. When Quinn Lou yelled, "Look out," Cameron Douglas never responded, which shows that Cameron Douglas was not paying attention to her surroundings and definitely did not see the driver of the car when it hit her. Based on the evidence presented today, we know that Adrienne Vega has the reputation for being an honest and good person. Adrienne Vega is the kind of person who feels awful that someone was injured by her parents' car when she had made the poor decision of allowing Tony DeLuca to drive. Officer Wright testified that when Adrienne Vega spoke to her, she never wavered. She repeatedly told Officer Kelly Wright that Tony DeLuca was driving when the accident happened. There is a saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If the prosecution's case is a chain, it doesn't have a weak link. It has nothing but weak links. Links that are loose and brittle and rusty and falling apart. And when such a chain is beyond repair and no longer useful, there is only one alternative. You throw it away. Your Honor, Adrienne Vega is not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rebuttal, Ms. Neal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
The testimony of all of the prosecution witnesses are consistent with each other. It was even consistent with the testimony of Dallas DeCamp, a defense witness. The only witness who presented a different version of the events was the defendant herself. Even though Miss Douglas does not hold the mayor in the highest regards, she told the truth. The defendant lied to Officer Wright. The defendant lied to the court. The defendant is not a credible witness. The defendant said she was sorry, and she has much to be sorry for. Hitting Cameron Douglas, causing a permanent and serious injury to Miss Douglas, not stopping after the accident, and not helping Miss Douglas after the accident. We submit to the court that the evidence has established the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.